How you doing, YouTube? Just giving a quick little status update on the Panzer. In my prior video I indicated that I wasn't going to take the drive system apart. As you can see, I held to my word and took the drive system off. I did clean the entire frame. It is as squeaky clean as I'm ever going to give it. I just wiped it down with some lacquer thinner and some paper towels. All those paper towels are right there, and there's the lacquer thinner. The towels are sitting there to dry out, so that way I don't burn my house down, because we all know how many times a new construction house burns to the ground because the painter threw all the rags and chemicals in the garbage and it sat there and spontaneously combusted. As you can tell, everything's clean. I kind of shoe shined the axle shaft, cleaned the bearing on the outside. Obviously I didn't take it out. Threads are good, everything looks real nice. I drained all the gear lube out of the rear end, and to be honest with you, I probably didn't even need to do that. It was came out like brand new gear lube, but I'm just going to clean up the drain plugs and I'll put new gear lube in it. Again, bearing, axle shaft, shims, everything's good and clean. Main gear is clean, the rear end is all pretty good and clean, so is the post. Frame rail's in good shape. This is all nice and clean, so it's all ready to go. I did have to cut the foot pedal bar and the actuator bar, the 3/4 inch rod. I had to cut that up into a bunch of pieces. So I'll have to just get a new piece from Tractor Supply and cut it to length. I am going to cut these down, undo the set screws, and then I'm going to put the collars in the bar in my press to press them out, because I want to kind of keep these. These are like the older, thinner style. The 3/4 that you buy now are thicker and they have a bigger set screw, so I think they're just, and plus it'd be like brand new nickel finish or whatever they use. So I want to try to reuse these, so I'll get those done. Here's the little holder piece for the drive. It needs to be cleaned, but it's in real nice shape. Here's the arm itself. It's in real nice shape. It does have some wear in the slot, but even the cast iron ones from the T50s and the T75s that you find, they're even worn. So I don't think that's worn that bad for an aluminum piece, you know, because the post that sticks up through the center of it's steel, that part right there. So that's pretty good. I am going to take the drum off. I'm going to take it all apart, clean it all up. I wasn't going to, but I decided to do it. One thing I needed to do was knock out the roll pin, and I just had to lube it up a little bit, and I just twisted, you know, I just did a little this, and it popped right out of the lower aluminum housing. Gonna need to very gingerly figure this out, cut it and press it out or something like that without ruining this but saving the collars. I'll figure that out at a later date. I got some brake lining material so I can reline these brake pads, because these things are so saturated with oil and gear lube, it's ridiculous. So I got them. Of course, as you can see, I'm an imbecile. I broke one. What I was doing was I was lining up the arc to see what the radius was like, and these were just not quite as arced as the brake pads. So I said, oh, I'll just push on it a little bit. Well, I learned tonight that you cannot push on these things, and they just won't quite fit. But whatever, doesn't matter, because what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to take one of these. I'm just going to very gingerly, I'm going to make a nice slit, cut it in half. That way I can redo the arc. I mean, it's off by just a hair that, you know, if I make a cut, it'll be fine. Now, I mean, if this was a vehicle or a car, clearly wouldn't, you know, that's not acceptable. You can't do that. But for this tractor, I mean, falling off this Empire State Building, straight off the top of the Empire State Building, I don't even think it could hit 5 miles an hour. So I'm not too worried about it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just epoxy the hell out of them into place. I'm going to take all this material off. It's all this is asbestos, that's asbestos, so I'll probably take a utility knife and cut most of it off. This one is not riveted. The other brake pad is riveted, so I'll have to drill the rivets out, and then I'll just take a utility knife, because it's so soaked in oil that it's not it's not real hard, so it shouldn't be that hard to scrape it all off with the utility knife. Then I'll clean it up, maybe even sandblast it. Finish cleaning both the brakes. All the parts are done. I think one of the interesting things about this is this side has the plunger piece here that I showed you in the other video. It's made out of aluminum. This is an aluminum piece, which is kind of interesting, and it has a domed top. But this side, this side's a steel. And I mean, there's quite a bit of difference in weight, and the top is different. So it's just kind of interesting that, you know, they kind of used whatever they could find. I don't even know about, I don't know, I think these are, I don't know if these I think are a little, yeah, these are a little different. So I mean, this wheel cylinder is actually a little bit different shape and size than this one, so who knows. I mean, the story goes that they used whatever they had on hand. So just an interesting tidbit. I'm not quite ready to put these back on. All these arms, they're super loose and nice now. They were all tight, you know, so I'm real happy with that. So once you put it all back together, lube it all up, the brakes should work absolutely fine. Other than that, I don't have anything else that's new. Well, I thank you very much for your time, and we'll have an update shortly.